Hello, I'm Tim Weston from the National Gamekeepers organisation, and welcome to this month's news stories brought to you by our friends at Pinewood.
Hello everyone, as you probably some of you will be aware, I'm Alan Barrell. I'm one of the Firearms licensing team for the National Gamekeepers organisation, the NGO. I'm going to talk to you today on a controversy which has arisen over some decisions made recently by West Mercia Police in relation to applications for Section 1 shotguns. Some have even asked, what have the shooting organisations done about this? Well, perhaps I'll make it clear in this short clip. When the problem was first identified, a meeting was called, chaired by Superintendent Adrian Davis, the coordinator for the Police's National Firearms and Explosives Licensing Working Group. It was attended by Rory O'Loughlin of BASC, Chief Inspector Andy Wortley, the head of West Mercia's Firearms Licensing team, his decision makers, and myself on behalf of the NGO. It was clear that West Mercia had an issue with the standard of the good reasons put up by some applicants for the possession of these guns. Basically semi-autos and pump-action guns with a magazine capacity exceeding 2 cartridges. We all know that the Wildlife and Countryside Act prohibits the use of semi-autos for shooting birds except under the provisions of the general or a specific licence. The law and the practical use of these guns was fully explored at the meeting, and written submissions were made by Rory and myself. Adrian Davis resolved to raise the question with other forces, and West Mercia agreed to seek legal advice. Today, the 24th of April, I've again spoken with Chief Inspector Andy Wortley, who has now received his advice from Counsel Glyn Samuel, himself a shooting man and experienced in regulatory law. Quite clearly, the police must, for the sake of public safety and the law, scrutinise what we might consider to be a good reason for the possession of any firearm. We should perhaps remember that these guns are specially regarded in law as firearms, not shotguns, and it is for us, the applicants, to demonstrate that a good reason exists for possessing each of them. The guidance is clear. Each case should be considered on its own merit, and that blanket policies cannot apply. It follows that provided an applicant is a suitable person and that they make a valid good reason, then they will get their authorisation for a Section 1 shotgun. West Mercia are now in the process of reviewing those recently made decisions where applicants may have been aggrieved by the failure to grant or renew certificates for these guns. I'm assured that, where there is a valid good reason, for example, the control of certain birds under the general licence, or for mammalian pest control, then the certificates will be granted. Remember, the NGO is here to support not only professional gamekeepers, but shooters in general, and membership of the organisation is open to all. Thank you for listening to me, and if we can help any further, get in touch.
Good morning, I'm David Pooler, the National Chairman of the National Gamekeepers organisation. We're here at the Heart of England Conference Centre celebrating the Marsden's Conservation Awards, Long Service Awards and the Frank Jenkins Young Gamekeeper Award. The Marsden Conservation Awards are celebrating all the good things that gamekeeping, game shooting and the shooting fraternity put into the countryside.
It's a great privilege to be here yet again. We've had several years now that we've been associated with the awards, which we hope and pray that we will continue to be able to do that as we move forward. And I think that these awards really are especially pertinent in a world where a large part of society seems to believe that getting as much as possible for as little effort as possible is a definition of success. The recipients of these awards are a shining example that loyalty, dedication and hard work is really what success is all about. And when you're passionate about what you do and you feel truly appreciated by the people that you do it for, going above and beyond becomes the norm.
Hello, I'm Helen Benson from the Gamekeepers Welfare Trust, and we're here at the NGO AGM. We're very pleased to be here. We work very closely with the NGO, and we support gamekeepers, gillies and stalkers in whatever difficulty they are in. And that means the wider rural community as well. So we help anyone in the rural community regarding health, housing, health, mental health, all sorts of things. We have a helpline, we have Jamie's helpline, we have a helpline for people who want to talk to one of our nurse team, and we have Gillian who talks about housing and benefits and money matters. And you can ring us at any time, 24/7, about anything that is bothering you. So that can be in the home, it can be in the job. And you don't have to be a member of anything at all. So we are here to help you at any time. Thank you.
The Frank Jenkins Young Keeper of the Award was awarded to Izzy Hall, who's got a fantastic career ahead of her within gamekeeping.
Hi there, Chris Rogers, Suffolk Chairman for the NGO. We're just finishing a couple of great days at East Anglian Game Fair. We've had great engagement with the public, taken several new members and spoken to a lot of existing members. We've had the Gamekeepers Welfare Trust with us, Bright Seeds, and it's been a really good couple of days. So if you're coming next year, do come and see us.
Yeah, Richard Bailey from the NGO Moorland branch. Just had a busy day in London with the Wildfire Commission, which has been set up by the regional moorland groups of England and Scotland. It brought together practitioners, scientists, academics, and importantly the FRS from both sides of the border. We have the weather and topography and fuel load, which all impacts the severity of wildfires. We cannot do anything about the weather and topography, but the fuel load we can. So we've been discussing the direction that we need to take forward to do regional workshops in the future and hopefully reduce the impact of wildfires on moorland.
As we talked about in last month's news story, the government in England launched something that they're calling the Rural Land Use Framework for England. The document contained a paragraph about shooting sports, which was wholly concerning for everybody involved in them, which talked about the amount of land used for shooting and the fact that it may have some economical impact that's beneficial to the rural countryside and communities. But it didn't at any point talk about the conservation success that shoots bring across the nation for the nation. The NGO wrote to the Secretary of State asking where this had come from and where they got the statistics. And we got a very bland letter back from a DEFRA minister who didn't put their name to it, saying that the reason they want to look at shooting sports and specifically the licensing of the release of game birds and the shooting of game birds is because there's a perceived threat to raptors, i.e. raptor persecution. Now, figures that the NGO have obtained from police forces and the Wildlife Investigation Service, all government official bodies, show that wildlife crime has declined dramatically over the last 10 years to almost such a level that statistically you can't manage it. The NGO will be going back to the Secretary of State with these findings and also asking to see their evidence. This is really important piece of work that we're doing, and we're doing it for you, everybody that shoots and all the gamekeepers. The NGO are here to support you and we will continue to fight the corner. This month the NGO have also attended a meeting in Sussex with the South Downs Veterinary Group, which was 117 keepers were there, and we were talking about various issues that are affecting game management. It was really nice to be invited as a keynote speaker, and something to look out for. What the NGO were demonstrating was a new record keeping app that will be launched in the next month to 6 weeks from the end of April. This app allows gamekeepers and game farmers to keep a record of the activities that they're undertaking around a pheasant pen, which under the current avian influenza protection zone is a legal requirement. The app will be free to download on both the Play Store and the iStore, and is available for any person involved in game management to keep up-to-date and accurate records and keep in line with the law. Just something else the NGO have done for all of you, free of charge. Here we are again in London, where we've been meeting with Aim to Sustain, which is a partnership of organisations including the NGO, Game Farmers Association, Game Wildlife Conservation Trust, BASC, Countryside Alliance. With everything that's been going on in politics at the minute, the organisations have come together, as we always do, to have a concerted plan to see how we can tackle some of the biggest issues facing game management.
Hello, I'm David Wiggins. I'm the National Gamekeepers Deer Branch Chairman. We're here at the Stalking show. We've had a couple of great days here. Lots of inquiries from members and all sorts like that. I'd just like to thank David and Deanne Freer for putting on such a great show, and hope to see everybody next year.
Hi, Thomas here. First of all, thank you so much for attending the Stalking show this weekend. It was absolutely amazing to see you all and the feedback on Pinewood. And special thanks to the team that organizing everything for you and on the Stalking show. It was amazing, really, really good. But now, from the Stalking show, I'm now in Sweden and in Småland at the head office of Pinewood. And we have the opportunity here to introduce a very interesting guy for you. And here he is. Rainer Russell, the owner and founder of Pinewood.
Hi members of the NGO, we are thrilled to be working with you guys and your members, and we're looking forward to a great cooperation in the future.
And members, I'm so happy to announce that through your membership you will now have an extra discount of 15% on the whole Pinewood range at selected retailers. So stay tuned for the newsletter where we will announce where you can buy to use your membership number for an additional 15% on Pinewood.
Thank you very much for watching. Hope you found the update useful. Remember, the NGO are working behind the scenes constantly to support you and to support shooting. We're here for everybody, and to help us, you can join the NGO by visiting www.nationalgamekeepers.org.uk. It's £55 a year, and that will go to support all the work we're doing for you, for gamekeepers and everybody that shoots.